Well, good afternoon. First of all, let me thank you all and welcome you all to this Smart City Summit. This is an awesome opportunity for us to continue some great conversation that's also going on around the country. Let me start with the most appropriate housekeeping. You met Euless Cleckley, who is our Director of Public Works. We went all the way down to Southern Texas to find him. He doesn't talk like he's from Southern Texas, does he? That's because he's not from Southern Texas. He's from wherever, I forgot where you're from, D.C. You don't talk like you're from D.C. either. You actually have some common sense. Let me acknowledge the great mayor from Cheyenne, Wyoming, Marion Orr. Where are you? Where'd you go? Thank you again for being here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Mayors from around the country are doing this, getting on the smart city bandwagon, and really beginning to acknowledge the importance of our cities acting and delivering services in a very smart way. I'm going to move quickly into my interview, but let me thank WeWork, Aero Electronics, AECom, and the Downtown Denver Partnership for their support and sponsorship of this. You know, we are here today because smart city means a lot of different things to a lot of people. And we certainly in Denver take it for a very broad swath that it is. I could stand here and give a presentation on what it means to be a smart city from the inside out. Working with our city employees, as Euless pointed out, starting with our city employees and say, how do we deliver our services better, smarter, faster? And you are the ones on the front line helping us figure this out. And they have been able to help the city of Denver save some $28 million in efficiency savings by helping us improve our processes through process and lean, continuous process and lean processes. And it's been phenomenal to watch. So we're becoming a smarter city from the inside out. And now as we think about things like our air pollution, Denver recently was we won the the Bloomberg Mayor's Challenge of smart cities, where we realized that families spend some $3,100 a year, over $30 million alone spent in the city of Denver, just on asthma-related medicines and equipment. Meaning that if we have a better sense of how our air is performing in terms of the quality, we might be able to help our families out better. Well, in partnership with Lunar, and I understand someone by the name of Cyrus is in the room here today from Lunar. Are you here? Thank you very much for your partnership with us on that. We are placing 10 air quality monitoring systems throughout the city of Denver on school buildings to monitor the air and use that data to help the city of Denver and our communities make smarter decisions in terms of managing our air quality. Because if we can impact that, we can save our families, begin to save our families a portion of that $30 million a year that we spend on asthma-related equipment and medicines. That's a city that's thinking smart. Not going just to the symptoms of figuring out what's the root of the problem and let's attack it. And so we appreciate Lunar for you all working with us to figure this process out, and we're excited about that program. And we thank Bloomberg for looking at it as a smart idea as part of the Mayor's Challenge. So we're going to bring Padden Murphy up here. I've got some questions for you. Y'all welcome Padden Murphy, the Global Policy Director for WeWork.
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
Hey. Where do you want us?
She wants to put us on the edge of the mountain.
There we go. We'll fall off the edge.
She wants to put us on the edge. How are you, man?
I'm good.
You know, it's good to see you again. I had the opportunity to tour WeWork in Paris.
Oh, Lafayette?
Man, that is a pretty sweet operation. You guys are doing some good stuff. You're off to, first of all, thank you for sponsoring this Smart City Forum. This is a great opportunity. They're happening all over the world. I have seen them in London, Africa, and certainly all over this country, and for you all to step in, and you're part of that disruptive industry that's happening all over the world right now, really jacking everybody up. So I got a set of questions here I'm going to ask you.
All right.
And the first one says, you know, how does WeWork view the future of work and the future of cities?
That's a big question. Well, first I'm going to start with a little pandering, if you don't mind. So
go ahead and pander. Mayors like pandering.
Light pandering. So I want to thank you for three things. So first, I want to thank you because we actually stole a Denver, Colorado son. Gordon Bronson is in the room, and we stole Gordon from Denver, and he's our head of public affairs for the West. So thank you.
He's the one that arranged my tour in Paris.
There you go. Yeah, he's fantastic. So thank you. Second thing, I'm actually from Montana. So when you're,
I'm sorry.
I will. I will not. You've got a nice town here. It's no Bozeman, but it's coming along.
You
no.
got that right.
No, I'm kidding. But so when you're a kid from Montana, your big city is either Denver or Seattle. You kind of got to pick. And so I picked Denver. And so my love for cities actually came from Denver. And I still have a big The Need for Speed poster. I got to watch the Rockies' inaugural season, a couple games there, yeah. And finally, but in all seriousness, I want to thank on behalf of WeWork, the entire your office, the entire city has just been an amazing community to work with. We have kind of a saying internally. I don't say this much anymore, but Gordon does a lot. But we say lead from the West because we actually incubate a lot of our programs in the Western region, but specifically in Denver. So we launched our Veterans and Residents program, incubated it here in Denver. Our refugee hiring initiative is actually leading in terms of hiring count here in Denver. So the entire community has been amazing. So bring us back early and often.
All right, we're glad to have you here.
But I better answer your question. Yeah. So the way that we think about kind of the future of work in cities is kind of around three like major kind of world-changing trends. One, there's the actual rise of the cities themselves. Two, there's kind of the rise of what we call the we generation, but really the millennial generation is a big piece of this. And then finally, this rub between technology and humanity. So on the kind of this renaissance of cities that's happening, basically in 2007 is the first time in the history of the world more of us lived in cities than not. By 2030 or 2050, that's expected to be like 70%, right? So you have this massive wave of people moving to big cities, medium-sized cities, and smaller cities alike. Second piece is that they're younger, right? So the millennial generation by 2020 is going to represent about 50% of the global workforce. In a lot of cities and in most developing countries, that's already the fact of the day. And then finally, you have this rub between technology and humanity. So you have this rising generation of creators coming to our cities or staying within our cities, and yet there's this interesting thing that, again, 2007 was when the iPhone was first released. We all got connected in the cloud, and yet still today we are kind of disconnected here on the ground. So what we believe is that there's this great opportunity when you bring people together and you create smart cities that are human-driven, and you create spaces for entrepreneurs and creators to create their life's work, magic happens. So that's basically where we fit in. We believe that all these massive trends are happening, and you can be passive or you can be optimistic and lean into them. And so that's why we're here. That's why we're partnering with great cities like Denver and trying to do our part.
Fantastic. You know, you mentioned the rise of the cities, and I can see very easily great American cities, great international cities like Paris, London, you all being Bozeman, you all being extremely successful in cities like New York, you know, Chicago, Boston, L.A., San Francisco, Bozeman. But how does WeWork view cities? We have another phenomenon going on with the rise of cities. It's no longer about the coastal cities. Cities like Denver, cities like Dallas, Austin, Nashville are really beginning to, well, they're the destination cities. It's where the most explosive growth. They're the destination city for millennials as well as baby boomers. How does WeWork view those cities?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We think that the future of work is the future of our cities, and it's not just the big ones. It's not just New York, San Francisco, D.C., Denver, L.A. One of the things that's particularly exciting, I think, about Denver specifically is if you are a Bozeman or Nashville or Kansas City, you can look at L.A. or you look at San Francisco and you look at New York and you're like, New York. We're not going to, New York is New York, right? But people look at Denver and they're like, this amazing thing has happened in Denver, and like, what if we can do that? And the reality is it's happening. And so what's amazing about WeWork is like right now what we are basically doing, we transform at a floor and then at a building level, office buildings into these beautiful co-working spaces that have shared desk areas and then private offices, everything from a 5-person office to a 500-person office. So you actually have this real community working inside of these buildings that are beautifully designed, and you basically have like an economy in a box. So the average WeWork has about 165 companies working inside of it, and that's 165 opportunities to connect, do business together. And so that's in one building. And so you launch your first building like we did here in Denver at WeWork Union Station, and then you start launching a second and a third and a fourth, and you create this network inside of cities that's really powerful. And you hit this point tipping point's probably somewhere around 5,000, 10,000 members, but where people start going to events across the city and you really start reconnecting. But then if you layer up again, what's really powerful is right now we're in 75 plus cities around the world, and all the usual suspects, a lot of the ones you just named, we're in about 25 cities in the country. But what's amazing is that you have the ability to then connect Denver to Long Beach, to LA, to New York, to Bozeman eventually, right? And that's really powerful for people, that's really powerful for companies, and it's powerful for cities. So we think that there's a huge opportunity in those cities that are coming up. And a lot of the people, frankly, who are here from WeWork, we come from those cities, right? And we happen to live in SF in New York right now.
Yeah, kind of like, Peyton Manning yelling out Omaha, Omaha.
Yeah.
Bozeman will never be the same after today. I just got we got a feeling. You walk into, how many of you been through or been in a WeWork's facility? It's phenomenal, right? And you talked about 165 companies, potentially 165 disruptive concepts, ideas maybe coming to the marketplace pretty soon. It used to be we talked about two guys in a garage. Now it's Microsoft, right? Now it's going to be two people at WeWorks, and now it's whatever next, right? So who are the winners and losers going to be in the future of work, and how can we help people prepare? And what's the recipe for success?
It's a big question, and I'm probably going to ask Megan the exact same question. So I'll kick the ball, but we think in terms of we talk a lot that we believe that we're better together, and so just using that at the building level. That 165 companies, that's everything from freelancers to early stage startups to like mom and pop small businesses, small accounting firms to the Fortune 500. And what's pretty wild is we just recently released our first economic impact report. We've found that WeWork actually helps building businesses save and then ultimately survive and then thrive. So in terms of savings, a 4-person company at WeWork will save about $18,000 a year compared to a traditional office. So that basically lowers those kind of barriers to entry of starting a small business or a startup. But then the second piece is really interesting is a WeWork company, a new business that started at WeWork has a likelihood basically it's 12% more likely to survive after 3 years than a traditional business. And then 45% of our businesses say that they actually that WeWork has accelerated their growth. And so what's interesting about that is that is
it the network?
It's the network, right? It's not. It's some of the stuff that we're doing, obviously, but it's that they're there together. It's that you're able to do business with each other, connect with each other, support each other. So one, we really believe that place and community is extremely powerful. But one of the reasons why we've teamed up and brought the Flatiron team into WeWork, and they're doing amazing things. It's also about making sure that talent has the actual right training and skills to meet the opportunity. And then that next piece of opportunity is extremely important. And that's where the power of being able to connect rapidly growing, thriving cities like Denver to the cluster of smaller cities that also have amazing talent, also have opportunity, and then we all uplift each other. So I won't talk about. I think there's enough gloom and doom to talk about who can potentially lose. There are plenty of people saying the robots are coming and everyone's taking the jobs. The reality is there's never been a greater time to exist in this country than today. Being able to tap into the digital economy, being able to connect with each other, to take an idea, or either an idea and turn it into a massive global company, or to take a small business and sell into marketplaces all over this country, but all over the world. Never been a greater time to be an entrepreneur or a business owner.
Our time has come to an end, but I think we'll just close on this thought that what you're doing, creating that human network that is occurring, concept network, what Zayo's doing with its fiber optic network along not only our front range but all over the world, and just simply other technology in the marketplace has brought down the walls. The walls have come tumbling down, and you can be anywhere in the world, Bozeman, Montana, communicating with someone in Paris, France, right?
There you go.
Very easily and very simply.
Yeah.
Padden, our time is up, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.